Hi, Darren here from Bet72.com again. One of the frequently asked questions that we get into our support desk at info@bet72.com or fired over on our social media channels concerns match betting and whether it makes any difference or is there any advantage between backing first or laying first when you're looking to match off a particular selection, either to make a qualifying bet or to cash in a free bet. And the answer is very simple. In fact, always back first. A couple of reasons for that. I'm just going to demonstrate that actually on this video here. But if you think about it, when you're actually placing a back bet, then that's going to be with the bookmaker. Now, bookmakers, as we know, are very much a law unto themselves. Lots of high-profile examples of that in the press over the years, and unfortunately it's getting more and more frequent. So what we got to do is obviously control what we can control, and we have far greater control of our bets and our positions on a betting exchange than we ever will get on a bookmaker, because basically with a bookmaker you've got somebody else either on the other end of a screen or at the other end of a phone or whatever, making a decision about your account and your money and where you can actually place that, how much and at what price. A betting exchange, then it's down to you. You get shown the information. There's no third party involved other than to take the commission when the bet is actually settled, but you're just making a transaction between you and another party who is offering up those odds and a particular amount of money at those odds. It's all up front. You can see exactly what it is, so you know exactly what you're doing before you actually make the transaction. Far greater control. So always back first. And I'll just show a very quick example here of why you would do that. So we've just got Odds Matcher loaded up here on OddsMonkey, and we'll look here. This is not a particular bet I've got in mind or anything like that. This is not a tip. This is not any sort of recommendation. Don't see it as that. It's just purely an example. If we go for the second selection here, Uttoxeter, I've just loaded up some horse racing. I've just put a filter on for the horse racing markets as well, just so we've got something which is coming up fairly soon. And it's the 340 at Uttoxeter, and we've got Betfair Sportsbook open, and we're looking at this particular selection, 3.5, and there's £273 available as of the last time I actually refreshed that. It doesn't really matter too much, just for purposes of demonstration. So we can see all that there, so we quite like the look of that one. So we have actually already loaded the race here, and in fact it looks like the odds. Well, this is the first thing I was going to actually say here. The first thing that you'll notice is that the odds on Manhattan's Ring have actually changed from what we've actually got on Odds Matcher. So we're now showing at 9-4 or 3.25. I'm just not set the decimal up on this particular account, but so first of all, you've got there the price variation, which can actually change. So what will happen is if we actually go over onto Smarkets betting exchange, we can see here the horse listed and 3.5 to back, 3.55 to lay. We can see straight away the amount of money that's available and also the money either side of those prices a couple of levels deep as well. So we can even see whether there's more weight on the back side or the lay side of the book, potentially which way the price could move. Is there enough money at any point to actually cover our bet? And as long as there's enough money there, unless someone really jumps in there at the point when we click the button in order to place the bet, then we are going to get what we see on the screen. So we can be confident that we're actually going to match off our bet as we see it on the screen with the amount we actually want in order to fulfill our match bet. Contrast that with a bookmaker. Like I say, we could have a situation there where the price does actually change, and we can actually have that immediately. Market may become temporarily suspended or maybe knocked to SP. We see that on occasions. Not the best choice of race here because we've only got 4 runners, but particularly on larger fields, for example, you very often see the markets fluctuate between the actual prices and SP, particularly if you're dealing with it slightly longer way out from when the actual race is going to go off. But again, we can see there that obviously the selection would be there. If we actually click onto it, then it will bring the odds into the odds box, obviously. But the other reason why it's totally out of our control is if we then just say we're trying to place a £25 bet because we've got a particular match bet. There we go. So on this particular account, and that's the reason I selected it, I am actually gubbed on this account. I can't get a bet on, but obviously that could have happened at any point. So you've got to think, if you've already made your lay bet, you've got no idea how much money, if any money at all, the bookmaker is going to allow you to actually have on that particular selection. So your lay bet could be there. And again, in a fast moving horse racing market, Sod's Law is if you laid it there, then the price is just going to start drifting. So if you have to go back, you're going to have to actually the price is going to start contracting. So if you go back into it, you're going to actually take a loss because you laid it at a bigger price. Obviously on the bookmaker, then there's nothing you can do. You can't place that bet. I can't increase my limit from 0.00. And that could be a restriction. This is totally a gubbed account. It could be a restriction where you can only get a tenner on, or you can only back at SP, or you can only get a certain win limit based on the actual odds that are there. So there's a lot of different things which, looking at that screen, it even lets you click onto it. It even lets you enter that money into the box. No indication anything untoward is there. But when you try and place the bet, you cannot do it because you're actually restricted on your account. All the time, your lay bet has already gone in on the exchange, and obviously that can go one of two ways. It can go for you and you may benefit. It can go against you. But when we're dealing with match betting, we want to deal with things that are in our control. We want to maximise the profit, and we want to know exactly what we're letting ourselves into before we actually place the bet. So I would always back first and then lay, because in this situation we wouldn't be able to get the bet on, so we would just disregard that offer. Or we would make an inquiry with the bookmaker, maybe as to why we've been restricted or limited, or it just again puts the opportunity and puts the control back into our own hands in order to see exactly what's going on. Okay, be back soon with another video. Cheers, bye bye.